Volume. Microphone check. Microphone check. Man, I can't believe I just did that. I hate that. That really upsets me. My bad. That's my bad. Thank you everyone in the chat for letting me know. Yes. Fuck me. Like, sorry, excuse my language, but Jesus, man, that's like one of the worst possible things. All right, cool. It's all good. So let's start the presentation over, shall we? Fudge, man. That's my bad. I should have done a soundtrack check before I started. That's totally my bad. All right. Well, hey, it's all good. Now you know I'm not AI. Now you know we're a homegrown, your local friendly neighborhood spider YouTuber. All right. Anyways, well, let's go back. Let's go back, shall we? Let's start from the top here. Damn, I can't believe I did that. That's my bad. Sorry about that. Thank you for letting me know. Okie dokie, let me pretend like I didn't just say all that. All right, so welcome to Omens. I'm JayDreamerZ. If you're watching in the future and you're wondering why you couldn't hear me for a bit, I'm sorry. That's my fault, okay? Technical difficulties. All right, so the omens are crazy. It's 2024. It's the beginning of the year, and already Mother Nature is showing us what to expect in the days that lay ahead of us, right? Last year was crazy. This year is already starting to become even crazier, right? Now, check this out. This first one is a video that was sent to me by Argos in Brazil, and it's these strange clouds. This is the first one that I started talking about, and basically what I was saying is that these are the signs that we look for. People ask me all the time, when is the apocalypse going to happen? And I always respond to read the signs, read the omens, listen to Mother Nature, pay attention to the changes. When the anomalies of our world become mundane and normal and seen all of the time and not anomalous, that means we're headed into a time of high fluctuation in the world, or we're headed towards the apocalypse, basically. Mother Nature tells us these things. Strange clouds. We didn't have these types of clouds when I was a kid, all over the place, all over the news, happening all of the time. They taught us about 3 different types of clouds in school. And now we're seeing some weird, strange clouds developing the world across, making strange images in the sky, doing weird things. I'm going to show you some other examples here in a minute whenever I go over to the web pages. This is sent in by Calix in California, showing the moon with the big old ring around it. And it's interesting because I was just talking with my brother about it. And I said that to me, this is an omen. This is the eye in the sky. It's just that it's a reflection of it. It's a reflection of the actual object that's up there that is invisible to our eyes at the moment, but it looks just like this. It looks exactly like that, and it's showing up more and more. I'm seeing this personally in my life more and more with that big ring around the moon, when usually I didn't really see this too often. But I also wanted to point out how bright the moon is and how bright the moon is getting. Maybe that has something to do with it as well. And then I was talking about how in ancient times they talked about how our world had more than one sun, more than one light source, and that one of those suns, there was a couple of them, died, or it dimmed out and it became our moon. There's prophecies that say that this moon will reignite, or that it will become 7 times brighter, as is described in the Bible, as we head into like the apocalyptic times. This article is really cool. I know I already talked about it, but it's really cool. It's one of my favorite things that was sent to me. This is from Carmen in the United States, and it says, bird enthusiasts flock to Lake Pettenwell in central Wisconsin to catch a glimpse of rare flamingos. Exactly like we talked about in the movie Leave the World Behind, right? Where all of the... Remember, one of the omens I said to watch out for is migration patterns and animals that are acting strange and out of place, that they're in the wrong geographic area because they're migrating and they're following these electromagnetic streams of our world. But those streams go into flux and they move about and they bend, and the animals don't know. I mean, I don't know. I want to say they don't know, but the animals are following those and getting lost, basically. Or they're on their way home, which is to the North Pole. All right, Thomas Lambros. Thank you so much, Thomas. Appreciate you. I appreciate everybody in the chat. And Incomparable also, too. Thomas says, Happy New Year. and still watching. Keep up the fantastic work. Thank you, Thomas. I appreciate you both. Now, this one was sent in by Jacqueline Swain, and this one's really interesting. It's I think it's the sun. I wasn't sure at first if this was the sun or the moon. That's another omen when you're starting to lose track of which one is which. I was telling people just the other day, like, we went outside at nighttime and the moon was just totally gone. And I knew where it was because I was paying attention during the daytime. The moon was out in the daytime, and they're like, "Oh man, where's the moon?" I'm like, "The moon's confused, man. It's lost. It's in the wrong neighborhood. It's over there in daytime right now." And that's why the moon wasn't out. Anyways, interesting stuff, right? I'm not sure. There's like some purple clouds going on here. I'm not sure if that's because of a tint on the car window or if there was actually purple clouds, but it matters not, because what we're doing is looking at the object that's rising up out of this huge light source right here, the sun or the moon. Keep an eye on both of those because I expect them to affect our weather patterns and things that are happening in our world. Now, this one's a little sad, but it's also happy. There's a happy ending to this one too. Thanks again, Thomas Lambros. So in Kazakhstan, the weather typically when it drops down and gets low, it's about, I don't know, it can get down to like 10 degrees Fahrenheit, right? But suddenly and anonymously, or not anonymously, what is it? Anomalously. Suddenly and anomalously, the weather dropped to about negative 75 degrees Fahrenheit in Kazakhstan, in the desert, in the Middle East. And this person walked up on a deer that was frozen solid. The deer is alive. It's stuck. It's so cold. You can see that it actually has ice caked onto its face, snow and ice that just built up and accumulated, and it froze it. And it's stuck, just like this. Now, I want you to think and keep in mind, as far as omens go of things that are to come, right? Keep in mind the mammoths, the woolly mammoths that they find in the permafrost all over the place, who were frozen solid instantaneously. Did not take, there's no debate about it to me. Mammoths froze instantly, along with many other creatures around the Arctic Circle. This is an example of what it can do, or what can happen to biological life forms that are caught in these downdrafts whenever the frozen air above comes too close to the ground, right? Which is something that will happen around the Arctic Circle whenever the atmosphere depressurizes. Now, this guy actually goes to help it out. So this is actually a good story. It's not too sad. The deer's not dead or dying. He holds it down so that he can like pull off the ice and chip away the ice from its face, off of its eyeballs, and its nose and stuff like that. But it was really interesting to see that the deer was just frozen solid. And this isn't the only example. Thankfully, this animal was alive, but there's many examples of animals that just freeze in place whenever it gets too cold, right? Either they fall into the water or they're just out in the cold for too long and they just freeze in place. Instantaneous freezing can occur and will occur in certain areas of this world whenever the atmosphere depressurizes. So this is stuff that you can look out for and be aware of if you understand or have a better understanding of how these things work or how they could potentially work as I'm sharing them with you. And feel free to add, your own research to mine as well. But be careful. There's some places in the world that are especially dangerous whenever the conditions in this world change suddenly, which is what happens during the apocalypse at the very least. Here's another one out of Kazakhstan, same place. It was so cold, allegedly the door was left open, or I don't know what happened here, but this entire inside of the house froze solid in Kazakhstan, in the desert, which is really interesting. Whenever you see these extremes, especially extremes in weather patterns, right? It's not just like, oh, last year was really hot and that's it. It's going to fluctuate. So it's going to bring us extreme heat like we're seeing in Australia right now in the southern hemisphere. And then immediately it will be followed by extreme cold or downpours of rain and floods, followed by immediately droughts and things of that nature. When you start having those fluctuations, they're like, it's like putting your finger on the pulse of the world and you watch the heartbeat get faster and faster and harder and higher. And these are the omens that we look out for and that we watch out for. This was sent in by Michael. Thank you so much, Michael and family. Clan, what's up, Clan? Clan Mongoose? Welcome to my channel. All right, let's see what else we got for viewer submissions. Remember, if you want to turn yours in, just go to my website, JayDreamerZ.com, and hit Omens. Now, this is super interesting right here. This just recently happened within the last few months, that people are in this national park in China, this desert, and their hair is flying up. Now, I already know, you know, every time I show videos, like we showed that video of the girls that were in the Grand Canyon, and their hair was lifting up, and they reached out, and they touched an electric barrier. They touched a force field, a real, actual, naturally made force field. And it hurt my heart, because the only thing that I saw repeated over and over and regurgitated over and over in the comments was, they're going to get hit by lightning. They're stupid. They should run. They're lightning, this and that. Yes. On one hand, that's one thing that we can acknowledge, that there is electricity in the area. That does not mean you're going to get hit by lightning. Okay, it is an indicator that you could get hit by lightning, but that's not a guarantee. The main thing, and the reason I show this, is not because people are stupid and they walk around in areas that are prone to lightning strikes. Okay, you know, it's totally fine if that's what, you know, anyone wants to talk about or whatever, but I'm looking deeper into it. The implications of what's happening in our world and what our world is able to produce as far as electromagnetic barriers all on its own. And these are areas of high electrical charges, and the deserts are known to be places of high electrical charges, or even paranormal activity and hauntings and stuff like that. Remember when I broke down that Urbano Monte map from the 1500s, and I was talking about Tartaria, the nation of Tartaria, or the people of Tartaria? On that map, they show you all these places in the Middle East, and others as well, where they have these haunted deserts where devils were known to dwell, and people would get lost. They'd become disoriented and stuff. Those are byproducts of a strong electromagnetic current, or EMPs, or things like that. Ominous, hey, what's up, Ominous? Welcome back. Good to see you. I saw you in the chat last time. It's good to see you, man. All right, so these girls are walking around, and there's a strong electrical current. Now, I want to point something else out as well. Electricity is causing their hair to defy gravity, okay? Which, in reality, it's just lifting up, and it's becoming buoyant or whatever. But anyway, I want to point this out because this is proof that electricity can lift physical objects up into the air. Right? If the electromagnetic current is strong enough and near enough, it can lift up physical objects. But especially, for example, you know, in regards to the plasma apocalypse and the electricity coming in and terraforming and stuff like that. One second. What happens is the electricity comes down, right? Huge cosmic electricity comes down, and it actually lifts up the land, especially the land areas like the parts of the land that are wet, and therefore they're sticky and they stick together. So mud and clay and debris and stuff, they are lifted up into the sky, and when they hit that electrical current, their bonds change. The electricity changes the bonds, solidifying them and causing them to become dense. They petrify in place, and they stay like that. For a small example, you can look up and do a short study on fulgurites, right? Fulgurites exist in small form, right, whenever lightning hits the sand on the beach or something like that. But they also exist in very large forms, like the Giant's Causeway, or the Devil's Tower, etc. Now, this one was also sent in by Michael, and a few people have actually pointed this out to me, and I've been meaning to talk about it. So I'm going to go into detail. This is the first thing that I'll bring up right now whenever I share web pages. This is the wind. This is a wind map of the world. Now, I'm going to go ahead and switch on over to our website. What's up, everybody in the chat? All right, cool. So I've got this actual wind map pulled up. Michael gave me the link to it, which I appreciate. And I'm going to zoom out for just a second so you can see what we're looking at. This is the North Pole. This is the exact geographic center of the world at the North Pole. Now you see this big old spiral all the way around right here? This is what they call the polar vortex, right? Why is there a polar vortex? Well, it depends on how you want to see the world in your cosmology. But for me, Mount Meru is located in the middle of the world, as we've been talking about many times, right? That there is a hole in the middle of the world. There's many holes in the world that go all the way down into the hollow recesses of the world, where there's abundant life and strange animals and gigantism and regeneration and things of that nature. But let's zoom in. Oh, and by the way, whenever the electromagnetic current goes into flux, this goes into flux as well. And whenever it goes into a high degree of flux, it will actually fluctuate outwards, and you'll see this little polar vortex go way out, bringing freezing cold air down into these areas where it normally isn't seen. But let's zoom in. Let's check out this weird anomaly. There it is. So right about here, right? Let's zoom in on this and check this out. Clearly, it seems to me, okay, this is not like a comet or anything like that. It seems, if this is the wind, it seems like something is there blocking the winds high up in the sky, right? I'm sure there, other people might have other explanations, but if you look really close, it almost looks like there's wind coming up out from the center right there. You see how it looks like it's sort of coming up and then going with the flow, coming up and out? This could be evidence for the zephyr that comes up, or the earth wind that comes up out of Mount Meru or Rupus Nigra at the center of the world. It could also just be the mountain itself blocking the wind, right? As the winds move around that particular area. It could be the entire island. I'm not sure. But my guess on this, to all the people who have sent this in to me, including my own mother, who is like, oh my God, look at this. This has something to do, and there's interference being ran here at the center of the world. Something is interfering with the wind patterns, right? And that something, I believe, is Mount Meru. All right, cool. Thank you so much for that submission. Let's check out what else we got. This one was sent in, and it says, why are Alaska's rivers turning orange? Streams in Alaska are turning orange with iron and sulfuric acids. Scientists are trying to figure out why. And here is a picture of one of the streams that's turning orange in Alaska. Remember, we also saw a picture of the bloody rivers that were pouring out, or the bloody streams that were pouring out of the ice in Antarctica. And we talk about all of the time, one of the omens is to watch the waters around the world. Watch and wait for them to turn red, right? And we talk about all the time here on my channel, especially during this episode, how that could be physically possible for the waters of the earth to turn blood red, as is described in the book of Revelation for that particular prophecy, right? So this is pretty interesting that these rivers are all starting to turn orange. They say that they think it's because of the permafrost. It has something to do with the permafrost maybe melting and releasing a bunch of iron or something into the water. They're not sure, though. They're really not sure. But what they all tend to agree on. What's up, Jim Donovan? Thanks. I got all the credits, the brand new credits. Stick around for the brand new credits after the show. Thank you, Jim. All right. The heat, basically, is what they all are pretty much agreeing on, that it has something to do with the increasing heat in our world. And I tend to agree with that because the heat changes the ecosystem in the waters, right? And it causes fish to suffocate and die off en masse, and other animals too. And then that has, through the chain, has like a domino effect on all the life that are in the oceans and rivers and stuff as well. And bacteria can cause these things to turn green, and then they will turn red, bringing on red tide the world across. That's also super dangerous because that will release toxins into the atmosphere worldwide, causing respiratory illnesses and things of that nature. For another example, this is the Great Salt Lake in Utah, right here behind me. I just wanted to pull this up so you can see a clear contrast. So this was a man-made barrier across the lake that was put up quite some time ago. And because one side was cut off from being fresh and having the water pouring in naturally and moving about, that's the green side, or blue side, you should say, right? The other side, this red side, is dead water. That's just naturally polluted water full of bacteria and salt, and it's disgusting. And the pH levels are extremely high in this water. Oftentimes, in water like that, the pH levels would get so acidic that it's like vinegar. I kid you not. They've actually, in the other article, they put some pH strips into the water. Let me show you this. So here's another one where you can see it almost looks like lava just pouring out, but it's not. It's water. So they put a pH strip in the water, and it's way up here. It's really bad. That's about the same as vinegar, basically. So keep your eyes on the oceans. Keep your eyes on the rivers. When they start turning red, send them to me. Let me know so we can get them all collected together. If you see, the water's turning red, the ocean's turning red. If you are out on vacation and you see red tide or whatever, send it my way if you have a video, and I'll get that shared with everybody. Here's the flamingo story. Interesting, right? Flamingos in Wisconsin. Tropical birds visit Lake Michigan beach in a first for the northern state. Northern flamingos. This is not good. This is another omen, okay? When tropical birds are finding their way to the far north, you know what I mean? That's not good. It's exactly what was portrayed. You know what they try to say in this article? They have no idea why this is happening. They just guess. They just have educated guesses. Their guess is that some hurricane blew them all the way to Wisconsin. I don't think so. Okay. It's likely because their migration patterns are off, or they're following new migration patterns to get closer and closer, making their way home to the North Pole, just like the animals did with Noah's Ark, and just like the animals did with Adam, so that he could name them all. This is exactly this is why we do truth in movies. Okay? This is why we do truth in movies. We just broke this movie down, so did half the world. Everyone's so intrigued by it, right? It's so funny watching everybody respond. This was shown to us. This was prophecy in the movies that's shown to us that these flamingos are landing in the far north and they have no earthly business being there. And then it starts to happen. Just like when we broke down the movie The Day After Tomorrow. And I was showing you and pulling up all of the news stories that were exact same things that they were showing in the movie The Day After Tomorrow after that the movie had come out, right? So yes, the movies are definitely prophetic in nature, or can be. Now this is interesting too. This is out in the Middle East. So in one part of the Middle East, they had freezing cold weather that froze animals solid and stiff. In the other part, it rained so much that this mountain and the surrounding areas flourished and changed into what looks like a temperate zone rather quickly. And this is an omen in that these deserts, okay, where we have deserts today, they may flourish in the time to come. That we're transitioning from a water world into a tropical world as far as the weather goes, or the climate, or whatever words you like to use. And this is the shift that we go between every time. We go from the desert world, which has no oceans or anything, to the we go from the tropical world, which has deserts and tropical climates and stuff, and a lot more land, because the oceans will be removed. So you have to imagine that all of that will be replaced by land, and it will grow, new flora and fauna, etc. Especially as the survivors start exploring the bottoms of the ocean, which is new land that you can go live in. Just be careful if you do. Make sure you keep in mind what we've been talking about as far as what type of apocalypse that world will experience, which is the oceans being returned to us. So yeah, anyways, interesting stuff, right? All these fluctuations around the world. Let's see what else we got. Oh, here's some of those just examples of these strange cloud formations. I just want to show you, like, this was not stuff that, was so prevalent when I was growing up. Holes being punched in the sky, right? These are evidence of the changes that are happening electromagnetically in the sky. Right now, you might see like these holes popping up in the clouds or whatnot, but what it is gases and stuff that are going up and changing and punching holes in the clouds or whatever. When those areas become ionized, these will look like UFOs in the clouds, basically, right? There's also some really strange ones. Some of them look like eyes or targets or UFOs. The rainbow clouds are appearing all across the place now, and that wasn't used to be something that was normal for people to see these rainbow clouds, which is really interesting. Mother of pearl clouds, we talked about those last time. Really weird popcorn clouds. We got clouds that look like tidal waves in the ocean. I've seen a lot of these lately too. Really weird, right? This is our weather acting as a mirror to just reflect back to us what's going on with the parts of the world that we don't tune into, which are the invisible parts, which is the electromagnetic spectrum, gases, etc. And the Earth is releasing a mighty amount of gases at this particular moment, at this time, right? And has been for probably the past year. It really started to release a whole bunch of gases, which tells me that the depressurization underneath us is already releasing stuff. It's depressurizing way down inside of the Earth, releasing up here, which is going to exponentially build up the pressure in our system until eventually the roof pops open and the apocalypse comes, right? When the sky rips apart. So lots of gases, which will lead to massive earthquakes, right? It's the gases being released is basically reverse fracking. That's how you could think of that, right? It's reverse fracking. All these gases being released through the Earth, which is spreading the Earth apart, which is causing a lot of sinkholes, causing a lot of earthquakes, shifting and stuff like that, causing a lot of earthquake lights as those gases, you know, fly up into the atmosphere and become charged, and they ionize and they turn into earthquake lights. You know, UFOs and things like that are being seen, as well as wildfires when those gases combust. When they combust instead of ionize, it can create wildfires wherever it happens to be, right? Which is usually in remote places, and especially places that are near openings in the Earth that release gases. You know what I mean? Like volcanoes and islands and stuff like that too. All right, let's check out some other stuff here. Oh, here's a news story. Which one is this? Oh, these are the waves off of California. So California is being inundated with these strange rogue waves. They're basically little mini tsunamis. Okay? Really weird, really interesting, especially whenever it comes to dreams, because I had a dream a few years back that San Diego was like underwater, that there was this huge flood in San Diego, and it just stuck with me. It was one of those vivid dreams where you're like, wow, somebody's telling me something, you know what I mean? But all these rogue waves are hitting California. Let's check out this news story that they have.
The California coastline as these huge waves have just pounded the shores. Take a look at this
Watch
video.
this.
Powerful waves crash over a seawall in Pacific.
Now, I grew up here too. This is, I can tell you from my experience, is not typical. I mean, you know, every once in a while you might have, you know, a wave come up a little bit, but nothing like on the scale that you're about to see. I've never even experienced anything like this the whole time I lived in California.
The forecast called for 15 to 25-foot waves in parts of California.
25-foot waves is huge. That's like,
powerful waves rolled
that's not typical of Southern California.
To be okay. This video shows marine safety.
There's another one here where it shows this guy running away from it. Oh, there's a bunch of surfers and stuff like that. They're all trying to ride the waves. This guy has to get rescued. Very dangerous. Be careful, obviously, right? Not just because of the waves, but because of riptides that can happen. Hold on, let me pause this real quick. I want to teach everyone something important. If you live by the ocean, there's something called riptides, which are currents that can just suck you right out to sea, right? They're easy to spot, though. So as, you know, somebody who has surfed and, you know, been in the ocean a lot in my youth, let me teach you. If you're at the beach, especially if you're a parent and you see your kids playing by the water, or you yourself are just, you know, there, if you see areas where, well, here, let me show you a picture of it, actually. Let's do a quick search. I'll show you. You can easily pick them out, basically, if you know what you're looking for. All right, so rip current or riptide, etc., look like this. Okay, let me show you like an actual picture here. Okay, cool. Here's a good picture. So you see how right above me here, on one side you got all that white water, and then all of a sudden it looks like there's a little river, and then there's more white water. That's a riptide. Okay, it's usually like clean and clear because the water is going backwards back out to sea in a little stream. So if you see that, get your kids out of the water. Get out of the water yourself. Don't get in there because you can get sucked out. If you do get sucked out, swim horizontally towards the beach. Okay, don't swim perpendicular and try to get right back to where you were, because that can waste a lot of your energy and stuff like that. Just a tip, you know what I mean? Who knows? It might help somebody out one day. But anyways, these huge rogue waves all over the place, right? And we'll talk about the earthquake that happened in Japan here in just a second too. Rogue wave caught on camera.
Crashed onto a road in California. The wave slammed bystanders and vehicles, with at least 8 people sent to local hospitals.
This is the one where he's
The
being
terrifying moment a monster wave slammed into the Ventura, California coastline. Bystanders running for their lives.
Everyone okay?
The surge sweeping
Look at
people
that.
and vehicles down the street.
Surges.
At least 8 people taken to the hospital.
Right. So, beware. These are things to keep an eye on, right? If you see stuff like this happening and increasing more and more and more, it'll get to the point. You got to think about this, right? We speculate and we say, what are the implications, right? So here's what could be seen as an anomalous event. What are the implications if it's not? Right? The implications are that the governments of the world are going to start stepping in when the sun's too hot. Whenever we reach like record temperatures and people are dying because of the summer heat, and people are getting sunburns and stuff like that, the government will step in and mandate for your protection, as they've been doing, right? Getting you used to that. They'll step in and they'll start mandating curfews. They'll start mandating what you can do, what you can't do, where you can go. The oceans, you know what I mean, will pretty much be off limits after a while. Things of that nature. So these are the types of implications to look out for as well. This one's interesting too. So in the southern hemisphere, it's extremely hot, and they're having anomalous weather down in the southern hemisphere right now, especially in Australia. And it says that the temperature was 18 degrees above normal for this time of year, which is really interesting. So they're going through wildfires, flooding, hail, all kinds of strange things down under. Let's talk about the Japanese earthquake. The Japanese earthquake was a 7.5. They downscaled it. At first it was like 7.7 or something. I'll show you the video. This was a video taken inside of this office during a 7.5 earthquake. I was in the Landers earthquake in Southern California, up near Big Bear. Whenever that popped off, I lived in Redlands, in California, and it was very much like this. It was very similar to this. It's not like a real quick, vibrating one. It's one that moves and shakes for feet, right? Feet to the left and feet to the right. Everything's shaking and moving, and it will move everything. It can rip buildings apart. It can rip the ground apart. Very dangerous. I had to get loud there for a second. Here's some more footage of a parking lot where I don't know why people are taking refuge in this. It doesn't look like a good idea. Check this out. You can see everything moving around. Now, as far as omens go, like we talked about the pressure releasing from the earth and the gases being released from the earth, there will be, and the prophecies all agree.
So we have a frontal system that's going to bring some rain to parts of the south.
Okay, thank you. The prophecies agree that there will be worldwide earthquakes. So when the worldwide earthquakes start going off in these chain of events, first of all, it's gonna have a domino effect. All of these things have little domino effects in and of themselves. This will have a domino effect, like a big earthquake will cause a tsunami, or can, etc. Right? Whenever we experience worldwide earthquakes that are biblical in nature, right, or prophetic in nature, it'll make these look like nothing. Okay, so like for example, in this video right here, you could see, where'd it go? You could see in this neighborhood, occasional things that are kind of falling. There's some debris off here, off to the side and stuff. When we get to worldwide earthquakes, which is inevitable, I feel, and my research in eschatology indicates that it has happened before and it will happen again. Worldwide earthquakes are going to level, anything that's not the strongest and most secured buildings, maybe even those, level all of them to the ground, shaking everything, and then it will bring up water from underneath the earth, and it will make everything very liquidy and muddy and swamp-like. All right, this one's interesting too. Oh, and keep your eyes out for more earthquakes and more volcanoes. So as those gases are being released, they're going to be released more and more and more as we get closer and closer. Keep an eye out for these things to be happening, right? For huge, massive, unexplained lights in the sky. We're already seeing a lot of that, right? I wouldn't be surprised to see another Tunguska event, like a Tunguska type event, which I believe was caused by gases that ionized and then ignited, causing a huge boom and electrical shock, basically. I wouldn't be surprised to see stuff like that, or little mini Carrington event type things happening. Definitely more earthquakes and more powerful earthquakes. And what else? Sinkholes and things of that nature, right? All right, cool. This one says, now this is more into politics, which I don't really follow, but I thought this was funny. So in Florida, they have something called Form 6, which is like this new law that says that all of their elected representatives have to fill out on a piece of paper and tell the government about everything that they make and like how much they're worth and stuff like that. So all these people are, all the government people are all pissed off, and they're all resigning. Many of them have already resigned, with others indicating that they're going to resign. 5 Macintosh town council members have resigned already, according to this article. They're like, no, I'm not going to share all that with you. And I could see one side of the argument is people saying, oh, it's my privacy, this and that. On the other hand, elected officials who tend to be pretty rich and corrupt and things of that nature, not wanting to, share with you how much money they make and stuff like that, seems a bit fishy to me. But this is just political strife, which, as far as an omen goes, you can expect to see a lot more of that in the times to come. A lot more drama. Politics will become way more WWF oriented, that type of mentality. It already is, really, but it'll become even more so. And they will incorporate their politics as they into these anomalous weather patterns that are happening, and record weather patterns like heat waves and stuff like that too. They'll use that as opportunities to promote themselves, basically. Watch. All right, let's see what else we got. Let's see. We got next up. Oh, the rise in heart attacks. This is really interesting too. There's been a huge rise in heart attacks amongst the youth. Now, the youth seem to be disappearing. I don't know if you've been paying attention or not, but the youth of this world are going away, right? At a time when we have an all-time high population, allegedly. The fertility rate is at an all-time low. It has just dropped the world across. Every single country the world across is experiencing problems with their fertility rates. And they're even offering prizes to people in some countries to give them incentive to go have babies and try to procreate. But when Mother Nature steps in and says, nah, that's enough. That's enough people for now, right? You see the fertility rates dropping, and also coinciding with that is the heart attacks that are starting to happen to a lot of young people. Not typically associated with young people or people, less than like 50 years old. Now we're seeing people who are like teenagers, 17 all the way up to 30. There's I think it was a 30% rise in heart attacks. Now, I know it's really easy for people to just point the finger and blame the government that, everyone's being stalked by some laser gun that's supposed to change the frequencies of your heart or your mind or your emotions or whatever. And while they may have that technology, I like to go to Mother Nature first to see what she's been up to see what she's doing, and ask myself, is Mother Nature capable of doing something like this in mass to people around the world? And if so, why is it happening? What could possibly trigger this, and what could possibly be the cause the world across, right? I believe this is definitely a huge sign and an omen of the apocalypse with all of these heart attacks that have been happening. I know a lot of people in the chat also have some pretty passionate theories, which make a lot of sense to me, about other ways that people could just suddenly be getting heart attacks in, relating those to the times that we're in. But I'll leave that up to you. Okay, cool. Let me jump into the chat real quick. That's pretty much all I had to share for today. Let's see. Let me get rid of this real quick. And we'll get rid of that. I just want to give my website a shout out real quick. Okay, can I do that? Yeah, let's go to my website real quick. Why not? Let me give you guys a little preview of my website. That way you can actually see where to go. So that you can, let me turn off the audio here. I do have copyrighted music on my website, so be careful. All right, sweet. So this is my website, JayDreamerZ.com. Let me show you the most recent edition, actually. If you go to main menu and you just hover over that and go down to realms, this is where I'm actually going to start putting affiliate links for people that I sort of am cool with or approve of, or I vibe with, their info and stuff like that. Hold on. Where's my Okay, sorry. I don't know if you guys heard that or not. There's music on every page. I put music on every page to like match with the vibe. You know what I mean? This one's called Realms. It's Reveal Esoteric Affiliations, Learn More Secrets. Right here you'll see there's a little plug for Tommy Truthful and the Truth Mafia. Oh, so sorry about that. This one is Paranoid American. And I'm going to start putting some of their stuff down here. You got all their little links down here. Everything's clickable on this too. But if you want Omens and you want to share your Omens, there's a tab right here. Click on Omens and I'll show you what it looks like. All right, very simple. So you just scroll on down, Omens Submissions. Type in, a nickname for yourself. Let me know what state that you're coming out of. And give me an email address just in case I need to contact you. Click upload your video. Here's some rules that I expect everyone to abide by if you're going to upload stuff and send it my way. And right here in the comments section, this is the most important part for me because this is where you can describe what I'm watching. If I don't understand what I'm watching, I might not share it. If I don't see the relevance of it, or you know what I mean, like I can't really tell what it is or whatever, I might not share it. So make sure you go in. Just write like 2 or 3 sentences. Just let me know like, hey, this is in Southern California. This happened a couple days ago. This is my video. I took this personally. This is my buddy's video. Or, if you're sending things from TikTok or some other places, I won't share YouTube videos because obviously I'm on YouTube. But if you got like, some weird stuff from across the internet, news stories especially, go ahead and get those downloaded and then upload them here to my website and click submit. And really, that is the gist of it. It's pretty much that simple and easy. If you're already a website member, just a heads up, I have added a few new pages lately. I've been working on the website a lot lately. The North Pole, check that one out. Plasma Volcano, if you want to know more about that. And there's a 24-hour free trial. So if you're not a member and you don't want to pay or anything, you could have a 24-hour cram session. Come in here, check out my website, sign up for the 24 hours. And then you get 24 hours for free, and then you can just cancel if you're not into it or whatever. Strange Geology, this one's fun. This one's pretty cool. So let me show you just a little preview here. I got to make sure there's no So anyways, the Strange Geology area, there's one of my videos on mud fossils. It goes into detail about things like mud fossils and weird rock formations. There's an article that I wrote here about Girolamo Sagato, Mr. Mud Fossil. I do bring him up from time to time. It's the only man in history ever to have known to figure out how to petrify human beings. Very interesting stuff. And I've got a lot of little examples of his work of petrified humans and stuff. There's more things here. Coral Castle video to check out. What else do we got? I just want to see some updates here. So these are probably the most newest ones right here. Oh, the Fractalverse. Oh my God, how did I skip that? I'm so proud of this one. Check this out. So I've done many videos about the Fractalverse, and I just want to share this with you real quick. Let me pause the music. As you can see, I got Miss Frizz over here. Hold on, let me make it a little smaller so you can see all of it. So here's my Fractalverse page. If you'd like to know more, click the music. The music goes along with the webpage if you like. Go ahead and check it out. Skim over, read all about the Fractalverse, how it's related to multiple realities, the multiverse theory, alternative Earths, etc., and so on and so forth. Getting into the holographic nature of the universe and more. I spent a lot of time on all of my web pages, really. I put a lot of time and love and effort into all of it. But feel free to go check that out. Let's see. I can't remember the other new additions that I have. Oh, I've got merch. I might as well just share that. So there's 2 places you can find the merch right now. I'll probably change that. You can click on shop, which will only show you like my survival gear that I'm selling. A lot of people, let me explain this too. Hold on, let me go to Dream Shop. So the Dream Shop down here is the other place you can find. On the Dream Shop, you can find JayDreamer's actual merch along with survival gear. So if you scroll down a bit, you can actually see my merch. So if you're a fan and you want to get, a sticker or a pillow or, a puzzle, like I got all kinds of stuff, clothing, a banner. This banner is pretty cool too. I like a lot of the stuff that I've made. The merch is there on the Dream Shop. This is the survival gear. I'm going to be adding more and more because a lot of people continuously ask me, how should I survive? What are my survival tips? What kind of gear should I be getting? So I'm starting to put together a little shop. The plasma ball is not essentially survival gear. However, you could technically use it as a warning sign if it's not plugged in. So if you see the plasma ball turn on by itself, it's not good. Anyways, I got gas masks here because there's going to be influx of gas clouds during the plasma apocalypse, as we've just gone over. This one is crucial. This one right here. This is 20 minutes of fresh oxygen, as opposed to those cans that they sell in Walmart, those big ones. You know, we go hiking, it's like recreational oxygen. That's 1 minute. I don't know if you guys knew that. This right here is 20 minutes of oxygen, which I sell. And it's just a little mini scuba tank. It's got a little mouthpiece on there. You could pop that in during the depressurization, and you don't have to worry about panicking and sucking in breath and trying to breathe and stuff like that. This one's a little water purifying straw. Plasma apocalypse light sticks, aka glow sticks. These are crucial to get, to have if you want to be able to have light. This is, I renamed all of these. You know, they're just basic products, but I just renamed them so you can see their other uses. Sky beds, hammocks, a sky bed. I doubt anyone's going to want to sleep on the ground after the apocalypse, just because of, you know, it's going to be all muddy and disgusting. It'll basically be like a swamp-like atmosphere. There's going to be huge bugs because of the increase in oxygen and stuff like that. If you don't get to the North Pole, I'm going to the North Pole. There's not going to be a lot of bugs up there, but the bugs will be gigantic bugs returning. This is basically a little EMF meter, so you can read and detect electromagnetic fluctuations wherever you are. Ghosts as well, if you want to use it as a ghost finder. And then my Meruvian compass, just a basic compass that points to Mount Meru, always pointing the way home. There'll be more stuff that I will add to this as I go along, but it's a lot of work. As you can see, I do a lot of work behind the scenes all day today. When I was not live streaming, I was still at this computer, still in this seat, working hard on about 4 or 5 different projects. So please do check out my website. It's fun, it's informative, it's educational. Members, whenever you join and become a member, I'll show you that. You can create a little member profile right here. And you can see all the people who have created member profiles. So big shout out to these. Let me just give them all a little shout out. There's like hundreds of people. We got Alf. Looks like he was probably the last one to join. Alf Cravero. You can put a picture of yourself in here. You can really personalize it too, right? So I don't know. I haven't seen everyone's. It's like a little Facebook page, but for my website, basically. Let me show you mine. Let me find mine. Hold on. There's a little search bar here. All right. Let's see if it pulls up mine. JayDreamerZ. That would be me right there. Boom. All right. Let's click on that, and I'll show you my profile that I've made. Wow, there's 144 people following me. That's cool. All right, so when you become a member, you can actually add things like pictures, banners to your little profile. You can introduce yourself. You can write your own blogs if you'd like to. You can share images. You can share videos. Like this one that I shared. I thought was a cool jellyfish. What's this one? Not sure yet. You can share videos. You can share whatever you want to. This is your space to share things here on my website. And you guys can, you know, get to know each other in that respect. What else do we got here? I don't go over my, I'm going to start promoting my website a lot more. Like, you know, I'm not good at promotions. And if you guys, you know, if one way you could help out, if you want to start promoting my website and stuff, I say you got my permission. You know, advertising and promotions and stuff is something where I kind of need to step up my game a little bit. I'm just so proud of it, though. It's so fun. Everything on here is interactive. Let me go back to, Ancient Oblivion. So click on all these tabs. These are independent pages. They all have music and stuff like that. But if you click on them, right, you can click on these tabs. You don't have to just hover over them. This is a tab in and of itself. So click on Ancient Oblivion. That one's free. Even if you don't have the free trial and stuff, you can still click on some of these just to get a feel for them. This is all Ancient Oblivion. I have a lot of stuff here that you can go over. Interesting stuff. All right, cool. That's pretty much it. Like, you know what I'm going to do? Oh, I'm working with Paranoid American right now on an advertisement for my website. So that way, instead of tripping over my words like I am now and being all nervous, I could just play my own little advertisement for my website. I hope you like it. I hope you enjoy it. I would love to hear more feedback about my website. I do read the reviews on my book, which just humble me. I'm so thankful to all of you who have left a cool review, which is like everybody. Like everyone's left a cool review on my book. I didn't finish my second book quite yet. I was shooting for Christmas, but you know, I had a family member who was in a time of need and stuff, and Christmas time and the holidays, and I've got all these different projects I'm working on. So the book isn't finished yet, but we are getting close. And as soon as it's ready, I'm going to release it full force, put it on here. I'll promote the heck out of it, as well as getting back into my website and stuff too. Once I'm done writing my book, my website's just going to blow up. It's going to have way more stuff than this. Anyways, that's pretty much all I got. Let me jump back into the chat and just see what everyone's up to here. I'll just say hello for about 5 minutes. I really appreciate that everyone's been leaving such good comments and being a part of like our community and everything. I like seeing that. Nikita says that I've got you on my link tree. Well, that's cool. I don't know what that is, but that's awesome. It's an honor that you guys think about me in those ways and share my stuff. Commander Hector says my website looks cool. Thank you. Let's see. What's up, Sage? I see you in the chat. Good to see you. NJ Jeep Girl. Gen 2 Gone. If you guys are wondering how to get a wrench on my channel, all you have to do is just participate. And what I do after my live streams is I go and watch them. And I'm reading the chat. I'm reading everybody's comments and stuff. So basically, when I get to know you, right, which is me seeing your comments enough and seeing your screen name and your little picture and icon and stuff, I sort of get to know you in that respect and in that regard. So if I see that you're being helpful, you know, helping out other people, maybe helping to answer questions, you know what I mean? Letting people know the proper way to do things and, you know, how we do things here on my channel. You know, stuff like that is really helpful. And just being kind and adding to the conversation. I really appreciate when people have a lot to add to the conversation. And being, you know, a friendly, kind person, basically. All right, it's cool. I think that's about it in the chat. I don't really see too many comments right now. Oh, we got Cheech McDuck. What's up, Cheech? I think I'm going to make Cheech a moderator. Cheech has been around for a while. All right, boom. Cheech, you are a moderator. Good to see you. And let's see. Mr. Dearden. That's funny. What else we got? That's pretty much it. All right, cool. Oh, my mom. Is my mom there? I don't know. Anyways, all right. I'm going to take off, everybody. It's been a great episode. Lots of things to come this year. I'm excited to see what happens. Until next time, I'm JayDreamerZ saying good vibes and goodbye.
Who